Before learning the core of web development, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, let's look at the basic tools and setup that we need. So the first is code editor. Code editor is where we write our code and program for whatever websites, pages, or program we are building. We'll be making use of VS Code, Visual Studio Code, and there are many other code editor anyway, but this is one of the most popular. So from the link I sent, I believe you've downloaded this. Depending on what device or what platform you are on, you can download for Windows, Linux, or for Mac OS. I have that already on my system, so I'll go straight and open it up. So this is what your VS Code should look like. Okay, then I would like you to install an extension. So you click on the extension tab over here by the left, and you search for this extension called Live Server. So the first option here, you click on it, and this is the Live Server. So I'll be explaining what it is used for and why you need it. So I already installed it, that's why it's showing me uninstalled here. But for your case, just go ahead and install it on your VS Code. That should be the only extension for now. Let's see how to create a folder and a file. So you can either create a folder on your desktop. So if you have one already, you create on your document if you have one, and you open it up here. But if you don't have one, you have to go ahead and create it. So if you have one already, just click on open document, look for it. So I already created the document, so I'll go straight to the document. I named it SDG DLC Bootcamp. So here is it. I'll just click on it. So I'll just select it, then click on select folder. So that will open it up for me on VS Code. Then if you hover over the folder, you discover there are some icons here. The first one is to create a new file. The other one is to create a new folder inside of that folder. So you can go ahead to click on new file. You create whatever file you want to create. So let me just create a particular file, an HTML file for example. So I created an HTML file with the extension .html. Okay, and I will just briefly illustrate why we need that live server that I told you to install earlier over here. So the reason we need that is because we don't want to always refresh the browser. Okay, let me just quickly demonstrate that to you. I have this created here, so let me save it. And if you go back to my folder, this is it over here. So you see this is the file I just created. If you click on it, it's open it up on my browser, but the page is empty because we've done nothing there basically. So I'll just put this side by side on my window and also my code editor side by side so that I demonstrate what I mean. So if you look down below my VS Code, there is a button here that says Code Live. So you click on it and you discover it opens that up on my Chrome browser. So now we have the normal one I opened and the one I just opened using live server. So let's see what happened. Let me quickly demonstrate by creating an heading. So I will create a heading and I'll just call that Introduction to Web Development. So I'll save it. So you discover once I click on Ctrl S or save, or you can as well come to this file and you click on save, it automatically reflects here. But let's check this other one I opened manually. Nothing reflecting here. I have to reload it to see the changes. So instead of us always having to reload anytime we make changes, we reload, there's no point. That would be too stressful. We just go ahead. That is one of the importance of making use of live server. So I'll close up this one I opened manually and we'll be making use of this live server to explain everything or to work. Yeah. So that is for your code editor. That leads me to the second tool. So the second tool is browser and developer tool. I'll come back to this terminal, but the second tool we'll be working with is our browser and browser developer tools. By default, every device have a browser that comes along with it when you install your Windows or Mac or whatever platform you're making use of. You can either make use of Chrome. I think Chrome is recommended. It's a very good browser. We'll be working with Mozilla Firefox, or you can make use of Microsoft Edge. So the three of them are very okay for what we would be doing. So then the browser developer tool is, if you right click on your browser and you click on inspect, you discover there is a tool by the right of your browser over here. So this tool allow you to inspect what you're working on, to text, debug and inspect it. So you see there's a console here where you have all your logs like errors and other, and you can go straight ahead to actually code from here or do whatever you need to do. Like basically I can just say 1 plus 1 and it displays the result for me. So we can actually write code from the console here. You have the debugger, you have the network tab, and there are many other options here that you can work with. So if you discover, basically, let's inspect this for example. So if you bring your arrow to Firefox, you see there is a tab here showing us the details of this. Okay, in order to inspect that very well, we would have to make use of let me go straight to, let me use GitHub for example. So you click on inspect, and on GitHub you can actually change this text. You can inspect everything that is here and like walk around with it. So let's say for example we want to change this bold heading here, build and ship software on a single collaborative platform. So you just click on it and we open up this. So let me just take this down so that you can see it clearly. So this is it, where it is written build and ship software on single collaborative platform. So you double click on it and I can just go ahead to change it to learn web development. You see it reflects here, but this change is not permanent, it's just temporary for testing purpose, because if I reload the page it would automatically wipe away that changes, because it's fetching it new from we are just changing it locally on our desktop, on our system, not changing it on the main server. So that is what you make use of this developer tool for. Most especially the network tab, it is very very good for checking, just like I demonstrated earlier, for checking our response, our request, and inspecting, most especially when you're working on back end. It's not just back end, both front end and back end. It's very very important, but the network tab is also very useful for the back end development